also helping out just like we did with the weatherhead. Our folks don't have the access to bring in bulk or one or two. So we're trying to bring that in for everybody to alleviate them waiting a month or 2 months. We're making a request today. That'll be our top priority. Whatever plans that we have for Rota, we extend that to Tinian and Saipan. It's just that our damages is not as critical as Rota. But for example, the weatherhead, if Rota needs 100 and Tinian and Saipan is 50, we're going to order that as one bulk. So our request is a CNMI request, but of course we separate the needs for Rota and Tinian and Saipan.
So right now, more on the priority is within Rota.
Within Rota, because first they got hit the hardest. They had zero power since after typhoon, and it's harder to get commodities and resources to Rota. And then for Tinian and Saipan, we can help each other easier here. I've been communicating with the mayor of Tinian as well. So we got the report from Tinian the other day, and that's the reason why I asked the coordinator of FEMA, Willie Nunn, to fly from Rota to Tinian today, and I'll be meeting with him in Tinian along with Admiral Shoshana Chatfield. We have, I believe, 50 Marines that are still in Tinian, and I know they've also assisted. We want to thank them for their services, and you are around Tinian based on the request that we've already received. Tinian, again, this is preliminary, doesn't mean that's the exact. We have about 26 major damages and 22 minor damages, and then there's like 300 that's been affected one way or another. Again, when we go out there, that was the local report. When FEMA comes in, we may have missed one or two or even more. Same thing with Rota, we had our own folks come out. I went out to even outside the grid, so to speak, to the farmers and ranchers. So they're going to be probably the last to be addressed because you start from close to the power plant and then the community. But everything is being addressed as a whole community. You have to count those telephone poles that are cracked and a little bit displaced. Those have to be replaced anyway. Once it's cracked or displaced, they need to be changed. So what we've been doing is just pulling out the lines through those telephone poles, even if it's crooked or cracked, and then we're going to be replacing those telephone poles with, hopefully with concrete poles. I know it's more expensive, but we want to make sure that our community is resilient and storm ready for the next storm. So our request to FEMA has, all of our requests has to go through FEMA, and then FEMA goes out to DOD. We then go out and assess the damages. And then there's formula and a threshold that we have to meet in order to meet the next level of disaster. That's why we're doing this assessment immediately, so that we can come back in and say this is the damage for Rota, the damage for Tinian and Saipan. Collaboratively collect this together and say we have met this threshold for a disaster. Then we write a letter to the president again and say we have met the damages as a whole to declare disaster. Now I'll be writing a letter again to the president declaring that disaster. So hopefully with Rota, Tinian and Saipan collaboration, we should be ready hopefully by Monday to turn that in. Oh, we have Red Cross. Red Cross has been a great partnership. They've been there since day one as well. They did training to our folks, the cabinet members and volunteer services of Rota. So they've been out again with Red Cross. We have agreed that to Red Cross, a lot of the contribution will be disseminated through Red Cross. They're the entity that are professionals in that area. Again, we've had this experience in Typhoon Sodalor. We had so many contributions across the nation from brothers and sisters, Guam and the neighboring islands. But to disseminate that fairly is very difficult. We had issues when we had a contribution, even monetary contribution. We didn't know how to distribute that, and we didn't want to choose one over the other. So we just designated that over to Red Cross.
So is there like a timeline for recovery for the island of Rota?
I would love to say yesterday, but this is the beauty of recovery, is you actually see progress along the way. What we do is we look at the total issue, the total disaster, then we have a game plan how to address that, and through our actions, then we see progress. We see this progress all the time where we set a time date of a goal to revamp or energize the community, and we give updates every day, and I hope that we've been exceeding the expectation of the recovery. Like for example, we were hoping to energize the hospital in 2 days. We did it in 1 day. And then Bacogon was up earlier than expected. Mobile was up earlier. So again, it's the progress of our employees. I cannot thank them. Again, CUC guys just went out every day. If any of you try pulling those telephone lines, power lines, it is not light. So I thank each and every one of them to putting up, going up 30, 40 feet up there in the air, pulling lines, leaving their families. In fact, when we were doing assessment, we asked there's a house across. I asked, there's a broken rooftop. Is there somebody there so we can assess? The neighbor said, oh, there's one of the night crew that's out since typhoon. So again, these are the same folks that have damages at their house, that left their home and their family to work 24 hours to provide power to everybody. So again, I can't thank them enough for their sacrifice.
Should the governor and the federal partners complete the process of the disaster declaration, that's also going to trigger some kind of local match. That's something that we have to prepare for. So aside from providing additional resources locally to augment those that are anticipated from the federal side, we also have to be prepared for the matching requirement. What's going to happen is we're going to explore this option of coming up with the needed funds to be prepared for the match and to be prepared to send some resources down to Rota. And that's a program that we would explore that would involve MPLT as fronting funds, and then the legislature and the administration working on a mechanism on how you repay the funds we get fronted by MPLT. So we can, off the bat, already make this consideration be placed on the table before we move to other areas of the budget.
Through FEMA dollars, we have been approved now, I think 3 weeks ago, for the whole project. So again, this money that we're reserving today is actually the right way to make sure that our share, our federal share, which is 25% at this point, is not shortcut when we need this appropriation. A long process, but in the general budget itself, I like to say that this additional funding from MPLT will safeguard more of the budget itself, so that we don't hamper the budget process. This is $2 million, and I hope we can get at least $1 million or $2 million for MPLT. This will safeguard the cost itself for Rota and Team and Saipan.